We're always up for a challenge, and the past year hasn't disappointed us in the slightest. There have been quite a few games that tested our patience and our skills, forcing us to think on our feet while in the field, while also being willing to go out of our comfort zones from time to time. If that's all appealing to you, you're probably as much of a sucker for punishment as we are, and are going to love the ones that are on this list. Each one of them is going to test you in its own way, but the journey is certainly worth it as they are all experiences you'd not want to miss. So let's dive in and let the battles begin. Number 1, Bionic Bay. If you're raising your eyebrows at the thought of a 2D platformer being among the hardest games of the year, allow us to warn you that this one comes with a lot of moments where you're going to be feeling despair at the seemingly impossible challenge in front of you. That's a sentiment that never fully leaves you as you try to navigate the complex pathways to your character's ultimate escape that serves as the narrative framing for this adventure. It takes a determined player to get to the end of this one, and if that happens to be you, strap in for a heck of a good time. Number 2, Elden Ring Night Rain. Although I'd personally recommend you bring a couple of friends along to Limveld, playing with complete strangers might just be a natural part of the challenge on offer in this roguelite debut from Software. From planning the perfect route and being as efficient as possible when you take on the many threats you're going to find along the way, this one is a rush through risky lands that can get quite addictive. Of course, the bosses at the end of each run are going to be the absolute walls that require multiple runs before you can even begin to formulate some sort of strategy to take them down that can work with different combinations of weapons. We could go on, but I think you get the point. Number 3, Haste. While its premise, gameplay loop, and control scheme are deceptively simple, Haste is so unpredictable and reliant on precision for the best rewards that it becomes quite challenging to play it the way it wants you to. For a game that's about running as fast as you can before you try to stick a perfect landing to preserve your momentum, it sure brings a myriad of ways to bring you to a sudden halt. But if you're the type to keep getting back up and trying again, you're going to have a lot of fun and digital concussions with this one. Number 4, Escape from Tarkov. No matter the mode you pick on this extraction shooter, things are going to be challenging as you begin to trade damage with enemies and pick up a few injuries or more along the way. That's thanks to the game's emphasis on being a realistic tactical shooter, requiring you to be very cognizant of your presence in this world, and ever on the lookout for signs of life from your enemies too. Things can get quite tense with this one, especially against players who know what they're doing with it. Approach it with caution and pay attention to its mechanics, as they could mean the difference between life and death. Number 5, Chang Fallen Feathers. This fantasy based on the end of the Ming Dynasty is a great example of a game that encourages you to try different approaches to insurmountable challenges until you find one that works. Its combat mechanics are sublime, with each of its weapon types coming with distinct mechanics that make them very special. Its enemies and bosses are all excellent adversaries, while some of its harder enemies had us grinding our teeth in frustration at the errors they forced us to make. For a visually stunning world teeming with difficult fights to pick, this one is a no-brainer. Number 6, AI Limit. Life as a blader isn't easy, and Arissa is no stranger to the challenges that come her way in this sci-fi ARPG. But she's only as good as the player guiding her actions, and the combat loop on offer makes things quite challenging to top it all off. This game's Souls-like trappings are proudly on display here, and its enemy types make it quite hard to predict potential attacks and form different strategies. The result, though, is an experience that needs you to think on your feet, and comes off all the more rewarding as a result. Number 7, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Henry's adventure in this sequel can get quite challenging if you don't make good use of its excellent combat mechanics. While you can make things easy for yourself by exploring as much as you can, things are designed to remain a challenge throughout the experience in this title. Its hardcore mode takes the realism it presents to a whole new level, removing a lot of important assists that you might otherwise rely on. You're going to want to master the basics of this game's combat system and practice as much as you can to make the most of it. Number 8, Hollow Knight Silksong. As a worthy sequel to the original game, this one's expanded size and scope make both exploration and combat work very well together to present a gameplay loop that constantly has you on the back foot if you're prone to making errors in the combat. Hornet's improved agility and new moveset are a valuable addition to a game that brings a very troublesome rogues gallery to its levels. You're going to want to be precise and attack with intent here if you want to survive this one's toughest battles. There are a lot. To hesitate is to die in this game, and this game does not let you forget that, not at all. Number 9, Blueprints. This one is a great test of your wits for those among you who prefer that kind of a challenge. Finding the hidden 46th room in a mansion whose layout is ever-changing is going to have you thinking about potential solutions even while you're at work. It's maddeningly simple and yet still quite hard to nail down. When considered alongside a gameplay loop that's designed to keep you bamboozled at all times, this is a game that can send you in circles before you find that a solution was just simply right in front of you all along. Number 10, the first Berserker, Kazan. For an exhilarating combat system backed up by a great story and some very unique visuals, Kazan's battle is going to hit all the right notes and then some. The combat system gives you all the tools you need to face down any threat standing in your way, but makes each of those threats so memorable and challenging that you can't help but get up and try again when they do inevitably take you down. This one's so good that giving up on it isn't an option, as you're going to find out when you dive in. Number 11, Doom: The Dark Ages. The Slayer might be feared by the forces of hell, but he's only as good as the one who wields his mighty arsenal of weapons. This prequel can get overwhelming if you don't take full advantage of its new mechanics, and even that might not save you on its harder difficulties. This is a game that needs you to be quite tactical as you take on enemies, planning a bloody path through their ranks with the brutal efficiency that only Earth's mightiest defender can wield against the forces that threaten his world. The Slayer's latest adventure is a deadly one, but is totally worth it if you're up for the challenge. Number 12, Warriors Abyss. Although the massive roster and a great combat system are the main draws of this one, it can get quite difficult to take on the armies it throws at you in the heat of battle. You're going to have to master your moves to get the most out of your build, and the game's enemies are no pushovers, ready to slice and dice you into oblivion if you allow the momentum of a battle to slip away. While the story could have been better, sure, it does manage to at least give you a reason to take on as many enemies as you like with almost reckless abandon, provided you earn your mastery through practice and through perfection. Number 13, Ninja Gaiden 4. The new Ninja Gaiden does very well to preserve the franchise's trademark challenge, with both Ryu and Yakumo having their abilities pushed to their limits over the course of the story. Taking on enemies with its combat system might be familiar if you're a returning veteran, but it can get a tad challenging to master for any newcomer. Either way, this is a game where you need to use all of the skills you learn in order to stay on top of everything that it throws at you. Oh, and of course, you have to do all of it with style. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Number 14, Hell Is Us. While this game's combat might not be too much of a challenge, it's in how the game's very design is aimed at making it as opaque as possible that gets to you. Hell Is Us can be quite complicated if you're not paying attention, with so much of its content hidden away behind a veil of obscurity that seems to cover its world. Uncovering it all is going to require the best of your sleuthing skills, and of course a bit of talent with your blades whenever that need arises. Even that might not be enough to see all it has to offer in a single playthrough. Approach this one with a suitable notepad in hand. Number 15, Shinobi: Art of Vengeance. Joe Musashi's fight against the ENE is a great action platformer that can have you retrying portions of it more often than you'd like to admit. While you do enjoy Musashi's agility and a solid arsenal of skills and tools to make fights easier as the adventure goes on, its enemies ensure that you're always kept on your toes and that no victory feels cheap. It's a deadly dance of attacks and dodges that can have you spending hours just enjoying its balance between simplicity and depth. And that's a wrap on the hardest games of 2025 that caught our attention. We can only wonder what the year ahead has in store for us, but no matter what, know that we're going to be there for all of it alongside you. And with that, we reach the end of this video. Have anything to say? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we upload new videos every single day on Gaming Bolt, so please consider subscribing as it really helps us out. Thanks for watching.